Hello and welcome to another episode of Carousel of Douglas. Today we're going to be talking about our final day in Disney World in 2020, and we spent it at Animal Kingdom. It was a really great adventure that day, and we're glad to have you along with us. One of the first things I want to talk about is when you go to Animal Kingdom, get there early. You really need to be there early. The animals, especially when in the hotter months, they do not like to come out at the hot times of the day. I mean, I don't like to come out at the hot times during the day. Why on earth would they want to come out during the hot times of the day? Get there early. To show you how early we got up that morning, here is the sunrise from our final morning at Saratoga Springs. Just a beautiful view out that window, and it was our last day, so we had to pack up. And we took all of our things over to Bell Services and got on the bus and headed straight for Animal Kingdom. They opened at 8 a.m. that day. We got to the park around 7:30 that morning on Disney Transportation and pretty much walked right in. They had already kind of opened the gates. They were letting people kind of make their way through the park, even though the official opening was 8 a.m. And one of the things I got to tell you is that the castle wins every time. But the second best reveal of any of the icons is definitely in Animal Kingdom. You come around that bend after walking through that glade that they have set up, and just the beauty of the Tree of Life as you come around the corner. I mean, you really can't beat it. Tree of Life, amazing work of Imagineering, especially since it's an upside down oil rig that they made to look like a giant tree. Talk about taking one part about destroying nature and creating it into something about preserving nature. What a fantastic icon. Now, just like Magic Kingdom, I had a moment in Animal Kingdom that was just, I couldn't believe it. Even though we were there way early and that was a little different, even still, check out what it was like inside Animal Kingdom as we entered in to head over to Pandora. Remember when I said that Magic Kingdom was empty? This is Animal Kingdom, about 20 minutes prior to rope drop. This is not the way it's supposed to look. It's crazy. We then started walking into Pandora, and I gotta tell you, ever since they built Pandora, I have been amazed at the theming. I mean, from the giant pod that when you play with it, it squirts. Unfortunately, that wasn't running at the time. And the animals and the fake flora and fauna mixed with real flora and fauna from Earth, and just making it look like this alien world. And the fact that they don't have background music, they use animal noises in the sounds. And you just walk in and the floating mountains are there. And they just did such an amazing job of theming Pandora. You walk into it and it's just wow the whole time. And as you might have guessed, we were making our way over to Flight of Passage. I kind of look at the queue for Flight of Passage as having three stages. You have the outside stage that you're kind of walking through the build into the mountains. And then you have kind of the native stage where you have the Na'vi section with the cave paintings, and it's kind of through that space of caves. And you also have that space that's like set at the nighttime with the bioluminescence going. And then you have the human influence section, and you have that really awesome lab that has all the experiments running, and you have the full-sized avatar in the tank, and then you kind of go through the loading ramps that were obviously made by humans, and the queue itself for Flight of Passage is just incredible. And then we got on the ride, and I actually got a really cool behind-the-scenes video of Flight of Passage. I'm going to be putting that one up soon on the channel, so please check for that. And it was really cool to have that behind the scenes kind of look at how the ride operates. So make sure you check that out when it comes out. But there's a little teaser running right now. And yeah, just Flight of Passage. It's my second favorite ride. Used to be number one. Rise of Resistance in Hollywood Studios wins, but second favorite ride in all of the parks. After we got off Flight of Passage, we literally walked right over to the Na'vi River Journey, and we walked right onto it. And I gotta say, I know a lot of people kind of go after it, that it's like, it's a small world on Pandora. I actually really like it. I mean, it's got all the screens and it's got all of the animals and it has like the lights and the bioluminescence. And if I'm going to say it's anything, I'm going to say it's like Grand Fiesta Tour because it's got a song at the end, just like Grand Fiesta Tour over at Epcot. Link for that is popping up now. So check that one out. But the Navi River Journey, especially with the shaman at the end, you really can't beat the animatronics on that. It's incredible. I like it. I'll ride it. Anytime I can walk on it or it's a short wait, I'll get on it. I have to be honest, it's not really worth the long wait, but it is really worth the wait if it's short, and especially if you can walk on it. Go for it. The next ride we got onto, we just walked right over through that back passageway from Pandora into Africa. It ends up going past where the Festival of the Lion King is. Please bring that back, Disney. Oh, please bring that back. And then you walk past the Harambe Market area, and then you can go right on to Kilimanjaro Safaris. Definitely enjoyed our ride on Kilimanjaro Safaris. We do that every time we go into the park. We try to get it like early in the morning. I think this was about 8:30, 8:45. We literally walked on Flight of Passage before rope drop official, and then walked on Navi River Journey, and then we had to wait in a little bit of a line for Kilimanjaro Safari, but it wasn't bad at all, and we got right onto it, had a great tour driver, I saw some great animals throughout the entire thing. Kilimanjaro Safari, definitely also another one not to be missed. Speaking of things not to miss, that a lot of people actually do, is the Gorilla Falls Expedition Trail. You gotta do it. If you haven't done that before, I don't know why you haven't. That and the Maharaja Jungle Trek, both totally worth the walks. We had a much better trip on the Gorilla Falls than we did on the Maharaja. The Maharaja, actually, we didn't see many animals on that one because it was a little later in the day when we did it. So I'm just going to mention it here. Maharaja is a lot of fun. It has the tigers. We didn't even see the tigers. The bats were kind of like tucked into a corner. So I didn't really include any footage from the Maharaja, but that one's also not to be missed regularly. But this time we didn't see anything. It was just kind of a bust. But then we also got on the Gorilla Falls, and in that one, it lived up to its names. We saw gorillas by the falls all over the place. I mean, they were out and about and active and just kind of being very awesome the entire time. So the gorillas were just amazing. They have these beautiful silverback gorillas. And I did learn an interesting thing from the cast members that run that trail, is that they don't tell guests the name usually. I was very nice and I genuinely asked, like, hey, what's the gorilla's name that's out across the way? And the cast member made me promise that I wouldn't say the name out loud, because apparently the trainers use the names to call the gorillas and to have them to train them to do things. And when guests call the name out, it confuses them. So I'm not going to tell you what the gorilla's name is, but I did learn what the alpha male silverback gorilla's name was. I have to tell you, it's an awesome name, but I can't tell you what it is, just because I don't want people using it, because I made a promise that I wouldn't call it out just because I really wanted to know it, and I don't want any of you doing it either. But that's why they don't tell you what the gorillas' names are on the trail. A little tip for you. It's kind of interesting. The next thing we did was we went over to Dinosaur, over by Chester and Hester's area and the Dinoland USA. And Dinosaur is a great ride. I know a lot of people go, oh, well, Indiana Jones and Disneyland is better. Well, Indiana Jones and Disneyland is different. It's the same ride vehicle, same ride system. In fact, I was told it's actually the same track in shape, but they do slightly different things with the ride controls and what the actual drive vehicle does as it moves through there. I know some people are like, oh, it's just a bunch of jump scares and dark spots. Well, I disagree. I actually find there's a lot to see. I don't know if it's because of redheads being genetically disposed to having better night vision. I see a lot of stuff in that ride, and I don't know what people are always complaining about. I love that ride. It's fun. It's got a nice little story to it, and it's just clever and well done. A little thing for you, if you didn't know this, the pipes above the queue, the loading queue right before you get on the ride, that ride used to be sponsored by McDonald's, and the pipes are red and yellow and white. It's actually the chemical makeups of mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard. So I thought that was a pretty clever little thing. And so check that one out. Dinosaur, totally worth the ride. I don't say it's any better or worse than Indiana Jones and Disneyland. And I disagree with people who say that Indiana Jones is better. I think they're both great rides. The next thing that Michelle and I did was we actually went over to Satuli Canteen for lunch. I know that's us like kind of running around the park a little bit, but we realized that we had never had the protein bowls and we wanted to try them. We've had the cheeseburger pots. They're great, but check out what we thought of the protein bowls.
Pretty good. I like that it's something different, but not like crazy weird.
Yeah.
Different take on theme park food.
What about the cheeseburger pods?
They're good.
No.
That's the best part, though.
That's not from Satuli Canteen. That's okay, though. I have one, too. Yeah, I agree. I got the protein bowl with the green chopped onion sauce. It's really good. I like the cheeseburger pod. The vegetable chips are really nice, too. Good touch. But the Satuli Canteen, bowl with protein and noodles. I got the noodle one with mixed beef and chicken. It's really good. I like it a lot. Yummy. For those of you who don't know, I'm kind of a beer snob. I really like my good craft beer. I like people who make craft beer with the right ingredients for the right styles. I tried the Hawks Grog Ale, and I gave a really quick opinion on it, but check out that. Decided to try Hawks Grog Ale. It's only sold on the planet of Pandora. It is green on purpose. It's very good. I like it. Not too hoppy, nice and crisp. Good and cold beer on a refreshing day or something like that. If you missed my video on the character meet and greets for 2020, I'll put that video in right here. There is a great thing going on right now that they're trying to keep physical distance, but also still letting you have character interactions because that is such a big part of going to Walt Disney World. And the flotillas in Animal Kingdom was probably one of the best ways they could have handled it in that park. There really wasn't a space they could have put them socially distanced. So I actually appreciated the fact that they still had the flotillas and the characters were trying so hard to interact with people on the shore. I'm going to throw a little bit of footage in of them while I'm kind of talking about it. But there was a great one with Pocahontas, and there was a great one with Mickey and Minnie, and there was Launchpad and Donald and Daisy, and there was supposed to be one with Chip and Dale in their dinosaur outfits. Unfortunately, I never saw that one. So there was a lot of really great character interactions that were done on those little flotillas. There's also an African drumming one. I didn't see that one either, so I missed two of them. We tried watching for them, but I never saw them. But the character flotillas are just a fantastic way to do physically distant character meet and greets in 2020. So my third favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World, yeah, two of them are in the same park. My third favorite ride of all of Walt Disney World is Everest. And Michelle and I went over to get on Everest, and we were in the line and almost to the entrance area where the queue goes, and it started pouring. I mean, like a heavy 20 to 30 minute downpour, which is unusual for Florida. Usually it only lasts about like 5 to 10 minutes. It was like 20 to 30. And that downpour like stopped everything in the parks. And so Michelle and I were just like, hey, at least we're dry. But then we finally got on the ride, and the cast member was not supposed to let us do this. And I want to give a shout out to him. His name was Ryan. Ryan was great. I walked up and said, hey, I love the front row, and I'm really trying to get a front row POV. Oh, that's right here. Enjoy that one. That one's really good. He gave it to us. He wasn't supposed to do it because of the whole physical distancing thing. They're just supposed to load the rides and keep people on them. And he was really, really kind and let us wait one round and put us on the front row. So thank you very much, Ryan. You're awesome. I just can't say how much the cast members mean a lot to me, especially in this time. But Everest, just a favorite roller coaster in all of Disney World. And you can't go wrong riding Everest. I actually got on it twice. I got off of it and then got right back on again. Michelle only wanted to do once, and she needed to get a drink anyway, so we did that. One thing I want to show you, though, is when you're leaving Everest or coming towards Everest, there's a little spot. Check out this little Easter egg in Walt Disney World that Joe Rohde put in for you. Show you a little secret. If you look here, you see Forbidden Mountain, Expedition Everest. And if you look at this lovely little thing, you walk over, ta-da, they line up. Cool, right? Love the theming in this park. Unfortunately, we were getting near the end of our time there, and so we actually looked on the app and saw that Flight of Passage only had a 15-minute wait. So we went and got on it again real quick just so we could ride Flight of Passage one more time before we had to leave because the park was closing at 5, and unfortunately our trip, even though it was short, was coming to an end. So yeah, our last ride at Animal Kingdom was Flight of Passage. Can't do wrong with that. So that was awesome. And then we had to leave the park, and there's a great sign out front. We hope you had a wild time. I love it. And so we made sure to catch that sign because we did. We had a great time on our very, very wild trip. We were picked up to go back to the to MCO from Saratoga Springs, our hotel, by Tiffany Town Car. I am not sponsored. I am just going to tell you that if you ever think about not using the Magical Express to get to a Disney park, go with Tiffany Town Car, especially Eddie, their driver, Eddie. We've had Eddie pick us up now for years. Eddie is amazing. You want Eddie. Call Tiffany Town Car. No, I'm not sponsored. That's how much I love them, and their prices are completely reasonable, and it takes all of the Magical Express hassle away. All of it. Every last drop of it. And you get treated like royalty for not a royalty price, and I love them. Tiffany Town Car, go for it. The only thing I want to talk about before I sign off on here is the fact that at MCO, I discovered something awesome. As you can see, I love Legos, and they have a Lego dispenser near the terminal in MCO. I almost bought like 2 or 3 sets out of it and realized I didn't have any room in my luggage. So yeah, there's an MCO Lego vending machine. Okay, I'll take it. So there you have it. That was our final day in Walt Disney World in 2020. It was a whirlwind of a trip. As you can see by my decorations here, that it is almost Christmas time as I'm posting this video up. And I wanted to take a quick moment to say Merry Christmas. And we're also in the middle of Hanukkah right now as I'm recording it. So happy Hanukkah to all of my Jewish friends. And joyous Kwanzaa for those of you who celebrate it. But I always kind of say this. Whatever you celebrate, make sure it's merry and spent with those you love. And thanks for watching my channel. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button, please, because it really does help me out. And if you really like it and you want to know when I'm posting new stuff like this, hit the bell icon. As I say before, I don't like to say goodbye because I'm going to see you real soon. So, see you, bye.